Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamsin Entertainment. I'm joined again by Mike and Austin. We're going to be talking the Chronicles of Riddick. You can find Mike on Twitch at Pope Mike, Instagram at Popadopoulos, and you can find him on Twitch at twitch.tv/Popadopoulos. He's playing Pokemon Sword and Shield. Go watch and get some shiny hunting done. You can find Austin at RNew1 on DeviantArt. So, Mike, you've actually caught up with all of Riddick, but we're just going to be talking about Dark Fury and the Chronicles of Riddick. What are your thoughts?
I definitely so compared to my original opinions on Pitch Black, I almost said Perfect Dark, but that's a Nintendo 64 game. Pitch Black, I like the character Riddick more. He doesn't seem like a guy just to be a guy. And there were things that I really enjoyed. Definitely like adding all this mythos to the universe. Like the necromongers and all that stuff, like this giant force that is basically invading the universe and trying to take people over. Like that was like a cool point of contention and an issue in the movie. Like you know that these people are just like sweeping through the galaxy and borging the entire world, right? Or borging the entire universe. But I guess to start, Dark Fury was awesome. I got some Eon Flux vibes, some Animatrix vibes. I dug the animation. Like every little nuance in that was really cool. I was a big fan of they were like detecting the heat signatures on their ship, so Riddick just sets off the fire extinguisher, and he's just like, hold your breath, and I'm like, what did they do? What's going on? And then they go out there and they open the ship and there's this big pile of goop just falls out of this spaceship. I was rolling. It was so funny.
Shows you all the ways that Riddick is extremely resourceful.
And extremely violent.
I love his MacGyver ways.
Oh, definitely. He definitely had some cool ways to kill people. But there's a thing I want to bring up, but we should probably wait until Riddick to bring up this vast issue. If this is just maybe one issue that I see across all three films that I have, but I think I want to skip that for now, which means I probably just shouldn't have said anything about it. But hey,
well,
talking point for now.
Now I want to ask, what is this issue?
Talking point for next week. So, okay, the issue, you see it in Perfect Dark. Pitch Dark. You see it in Pitch Black. You see it in the Chronicles of Riddick, and you see it in just Riddick. Is that there is something fundamentally wrong with the planet they're on, and for a portion of the movie, it's the characters, whether they're good or bad, versus the planet. So in Pitch Black, it's pitch black, and the bioraptors are attacking. In 2, it's, oh my gosh, we're on the sun planet, we're on Mercury, and it's exploding with heat. And then so they're rushing through the planet. It's always there's always a running through danger of the planet scene in there, except in Riddick, where they're riding hover motorcycles with Dave Bautista.
Okay, so do you see that that's an issue you said? So you have a problem with it, the planet, so humans versus the planet.
Yeah, but the human versus the planet, as I delicately apply chapstick, the human versus the planet is it's a cool thing, but it didn't need to be in all three. There could have been some other type of contention, on Riddick, in Riddick when he gives out crap, because I don't want to talk about
Right.
Riddick.
We can talk about that.
How about I say something?
Yes.
You say stuff.
Yeah. So, something you may not have noticed, if you compare the planets in Riddick to other planets in other universes like Star Trek and Star Wars,
Hmm.
you will find that in Riddick, the planets are not M class. They are much more volatile for humans and not recommended for being on for in the first place.
Hmm.
Pitch Black, that was an accident. That was a random planet. Thank God it had air, but everything else, you're fucked.
Hmm.
On the prison planet, that was a prison planet. Someone wanted
Yeah.
to go to the worst part of the galaxy and put a prison there. Wow.
I get that. And then
How
in
did they
Riddick,
get to the last one in regular Riddick?
they just pushed him out of the ship, and the guy shot the ground and he fell off a cliff, and he had to set his own leg because it was broken. The scene was awesome.
Yeah. See, another moment where he's basically being thrown out.
But I'm saying it didn't need to be the same trope 3 times.
The only reason I would expect them to do that is to show the hostility of their galaxy.
Okay, that's fair.
And the resilience and the resourcefulness of Riddick.
Yeah.
Something that we
Wasn't
can
there a
really talk
moment-
about in the next one when we're talking
Yeah.
about the movie Riddick.
Wasn't there a moment somewhere in the trilogy where he's on an ice planet running
Yeah, that's
across
the beginning
top?
of Chronicles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved that scene.
Yo.
He's all he's got, and even though the other guy's got a ship, he still takes him out.
Oh yeah, when he cuts the 2 dudes hanging with the net guns and he just cuts them off, and you get the Wilhelm scream and it's like, "Wah!" I lost it. That was so funny.
Yes.
He just goes to 2 guys and I've never even seen him.
Yeah.
Look out for him. He could be anywhere, and he's on top of the ship. Toombs was a great like side antagonist in Chronicles.
Definitely, and I'm really happy you said to watch Dark Fury first, because if I hadn't, I would have been like, "Who's Toombs? Why does he know him so well?" There's no, so, like the fact that they were like, "We're waking this jerk up who's probably like 1 tier below Riddick, but could give him a run for his money," and if it was just like, "Oh, we know this character now," it probably would have broken me away a little bit.
I disagree because I watched them out of order, and I got the dynamic between them, and I really like the character Toombs without all that context beforehand. It does certainly help, but for me I didn't really need it. It's just an added bonus at this point. Yes,
They
awesome.
handled the Toombs character a very particular way in the movie that made it so you didn't need the extra bit. I don't know what order in which whether the anime came first or the Chronicles came first, but I do know that they put little hints in there in the dialogue, like I'm here for that million on your head, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We know for a fact he was being taken by prison. Like, let's not even consider Dark Fury. What was it?
Mm-hmm.
Pitch Black, Dark Fury. Which is it? The first
Pitch
one.
Black is the
Pitch
first
Black.
movie.
Right. If you hadn't even seen that, because that actually lends hints saying that he was a prisoner, now he's on the run.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
County.
Yeah.
But if you didn't even have that, they still say, there's a bounty on your head. He'll set me up for life if I capture him. Yeah. There's little hints in the vocals.
I love it every single time Riddick is I can't articulate. I can't find the right words for it, but okay, either telling someone how they're wrong, or how he's going to kill them. And when with Toombs, when Riddick gets in the ship, what is it? 3 things wrong. You did 3 things wrong. First, you took the job. Second, you came light. 4-man crew, fucking insulting. And third, and this is the most important one, empty gun rack. And he slams his head on the ceiling.
These are definitely like Riddick tropes that fit like the generic action guy, but because Riddick is so capable, he's like Murder MacGyver, which I think somebody said he was MacGyver before, but he's Murder MacGyver.
Austin.
I did.
Austin did. I don't know where where my finger's pointing
You're
at
pointing
this
up
point.
at him, yeah.
Yeah, for me too.
But like I felt that there was more character development in this movie. Like I feel like this movie solely being centered around Riddick and what he was doing to basically just get revenge for the necromongers just killing Iman. Like he was just like, you killed my friend, so I'm gonna kill your boy, but then I'm gonna, have this flashback about my race, and you start to learn a little bit more. And then Riddick also goes on with the like, oh, you killed all of me. Well, let's just get this going. Let's just take care of these guys.
Well, and the Lord Marshal was the person that was strangling him at birth with his own umbilical cord. Which, one thing I wanted to bring up, I should have brought it up at the beginning, but just to go back to Pitch Black for a second, when I mentioned the dynamic between characters, what about the one scene where Imam comes to him and he says, "Let's pray"? That, I don't want to go into the whole scene because I don't remember every word, but what about that scene? If you're just looking at the dynamics between these characters.
So for Riddick, it ends up being like a lot of dismissal, especially spiritually, and you actually see that through all the movies.
Right.
That Riddick does not care about anybody's faith or spirituality. Like, Riddick is very much a character that is grounded in reality, and he knows what is happening around him, and that's typically, you don't see that too frequently in characters. Like writers and directors and authors and things tend to have some sort of like hidden feeling for their character, where they're 100% not, or they're not 100% there, like fully in the stories. Like an example would be Harry Potter, right? Harry Potter was very much in the book, and he was very much at Hogwarts, but a portion of who he was, a portion of his character was split, because part of the time he was thinking about Voldemort, and part of the time he was thinking about his parents who were dead. So he was never fully grounded as a character. He was never fully 100% invested in what was going on. But Riddick is a very objective based man. You say, if he were to believe that something were pretend, or that something were irrelevant, like faith in his terms, it doesn't matter to me. He's more attuned with what is happening around them than what other people would be. He's more attuned with what is going on around him than other people are, and that makes him a more holistic character, and he causes you to see the universe and the galaxy the way it is.
He walks into the amphitheater and says, "I want a piece of him."
Oh, let's go. And
Why not?
The High Commander was like, "Sure, here, kill him. Let's go."
I mean, that's a lot better than taking him out with guards.
Yeah.
but then he won.
And then
Yeah.
he did. And then
then-
they were like, "You want to be us?"
Well, no, in their culture, you keep what you kill.
Yeah, but okay. So now that we've gotten to the necromongers,
Yeah.
frickin' Carl Urban is such a damn simp in that movie. Like, he literally could have not been a character. He didn't matter. He was just he was just a guy.
Which one's that?
He was the
He was Vaco.
Vaco. Yeah,
Vaco! Why are you hating on Vaco?
because he's just a simp. He doesn't do anything.
When you
Like-
say a simp, what does that mean?
He's like whipped by the girl.
Oh, his
She's
wife.
like, you can be the king. You can be the king. Blah 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 blah. It's the classic like whipped character.
Words.
like-
Yeah, but she was
manipulated
she was
from
extremely
from
fun to
behind
watch.
Wait, what?
She was extremely fun to watch. She was so hammy.
But
I like
she was
her.
Ridiculous.
she was definitely good at manipulating him.
Yes.
But you could definitely tell that he was just like, I want this power because she wants me to have the power, and not like if she had been on screen more, if that character had been a little more fleshed out, like if we saw her manipulate other people, I think I would have been more invested in Vaco.
No,
And then-
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go for it.
No, Vaco. Go, Austin.
The reason he is there is to show that the kingdom was not a solidified thing. People could grab power if they so choose. And in fact, the guy who's in charge now did that himself.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea of the woman manipulating the man, even though he's on the seat of power, you're just... In this particular case, you're making a show of the manipulator truly being in power.
Yeah. But I think that I would rather have the manipulator be the focus instead of
I would agree.
instead of Vaco.
If I were watching Knights of the Old Republic, for example, I would like more info on Kreia than the others.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Alright, she's not manipulating Vaco as much as you two are really portraying it to be. He does want the throne. He does want power. Because you see the back and forth between them in their own chambers. How she just wants the Lord Marshal dead, and she just wants Vaco to be the leader. She just wants straight up power. But Vaco wants something more. It's not to really get into Riddick, even though we kind of dipped into a little bit. He wants transcendence, and Vaco's gripe is it's taking too long to get to the Underverse. And the Underverse is this place. It's one of the things I like. Sidetrack a little bit. One of the things I like about this franchise so much is that there's fantastic world building, but there's also a lot that's left unanswered. Like, what is the Underverse, and how does it turn people into what the Lord Marshal became, and stuff like that. And that's what Vaco really wants, and it's really difficult for him to go after what he wants because of the structure of the necromongers. Yes, you get to keep what you kill, but there's also just loyalty to the cause and loyalty to the Lord Marshal, and that you see that internal struggle with him. No, because it was like crickets after that. Go ahead.
You were on such a good tangent.
I'll give you some of that. I'll give you like 50%, right? But for all we know about Vaco, which is very little, that he wanted the seat of power, he wanted this transcendence. We know more through one-on-one conversations between him and the female character that she is manipulating him to further his own resolve. Right? He wants this. You want this. You want to kill the guy. You want him to be dead. You want to sit on the throne. Like, obviously he was not willing to do it himself. It took manipulation in some regard to get him to grab the quadruple axe and jump over the banister and almost try to kill the guy.
All right. I think that's where we can meet halfway.
I mean,
no, go ahead.
I mean, as far as the rest of the movie goes, like, the action was fun. When he went to the prison and they released the dogs, and the dogs were just running around eating the guards and eating the prisoners and stuff, I thought that was hilarious. And then you find out that they're like, oh, call him off, and Riddick's just like petting one, like he's just like, hey buddy, we're friends.
All right, let me take a second to go back to it, because that brings up a point to the last podcast where he told the creatures, you don't know who you're messing with.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here brings back the animal side thing, because he tamed this vicious, like, scaly direwolf. Really, it's a direwolf, scaly direwolf. And the other convict sees him, and Riddick just looks back at him and says, "It's an animal thing."
Yeah, well, like, I get your point, but back then, when I had only seen Pitch Black, it felt over the top to me. It felt weird. It makes sense now that I have a better understanding of Riddick's character, and that, you know, he's he's an Alpha Furian, and, you know, you learn a little bit more of the lore. Yeah, it makes sense now, after the fact.
It sounds like you've been watching the director cuts of these.
Whatever was...
Because the theatrical versions don't really go into the Fury and stuff. Not that much.
Yeah. Whatever was... cost me $5 on YouTube to rent for 2 days. Whatever the unrated stuff. It's probably the director's cuts, I don't know.
What did you think of Kira's development? Or, well, Jack becoming Kira?
I can definitely see Jack / Kira becoming a merc, and, you know, she idolized Riddick through the whole of Pitch Black. You know, she saw this stone cold killer actually try to save her friend and do all these things, but I don't understand. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but I don't understand why she changed her name.
They don't ever explain it for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, she just is like, I'm Kira now.
My mind brings me to the idea that there are people out there who they go through some traumatic experience one way or another, and they want to change who they are, and part of that change is changing their name, becoming a completely different person because they do not like who they were before.
I didn't think about that. And she did say that she was, like, sold into slavery and all that kind of stuff. So that's actually a really good point. That's something I didn't think about.
Well, I was thinking that maybe because Jack was her. Maybe, I mean, who knows? Maybe she was Jacqueline growing up.
I think that might have been part of it.
And she became Jack for Pitch Black.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other thing I was thinking of, because you brought up the name thing, maybe her name was Kira, and she became Jack in the movie Pitch Black just so she could throw people off. I don't know. Maybe it's on Wikipedia.
Based off of the wording that was used, I would assume that it's simply a name that she chose, and the idea that her name originally was Jacqueline is more probable.
Mm.
I am very happy that there was no, like, romance thing.
No.
Because you know, there's the attractive female character, there's the attractive male character, but they didn't do it, and I was like no, don't, this can't be a thing. And it just shows like Riddick still sees Kira/Jack as
A
the
daughter
girl,
figure.
yeah, as a daughter figure. Like that was something that stood out to me. Like his willingness to save her when he ties the rope around the thing and pours himself with all the water and swings down and grabs her as the sun's about to like ignite the surface of the cliff. Like that was so cool. That was the
I actually thought you would have an issue with that.
nah, that
Scientifically, it kind of makes sense, but it only works for like a second or two.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
wouldn't. It realistically, yeah, it wouldn't work at all. He would be like skeleton by the time he swung by. But it is pretty cool, especially when he lands and you see the steam coming off of him.
Oh yeah. Well, there are things that you can suspend your disbelief for. Character development really isn't one of them, but cool action stuff. Oh yeah, I have absolutely no problem doing that. You know, the gravity on that planet might have been lower, so you know he was able to swing a little slower and catch her, and you know something with the crossing of laser beams. I don't know, some made up stuff, but that's the fun part.
Well, I think probably the coolest death is the Furion. What?
I was gonna try to guess what you think the coolest death is.
Oh, I already gave it away though.
You said the Furion.
Yeah, the Furion that became a necromonger. When he tells
God.
the message from the Lord Marshal, but then he gives him his own message: don't stay away.
Yeah.
Go get some. And then he walks out into the open, and he just disintegrates. And
Yeah, it
it's
just
so
slowly
amazing.
crumbles. My
The
favorite
only
kill.
reason he could is because his body has been trained to ignore the pain.
My favorite kill is the kill to the High Lord guy when Vaco goes to hit him with the axe, and then he does his little teleport, but he teleports behind Riddick, and Riddick has the knife and just stabs him in the head.
That's the second best.
That was so fun. That was so awesome.
And then breaks the hilt off.
I love the over the top stuff like that. Like the suspend disbelief stuff is the best.
Oh, what about Judi Dench's character?
Oh, the elemental,
Yeah.
the wind elemental, and she was just sort of like, she was like the harbinger of the story, sort of manipulating. No, I don't want to say manipulating because we've discussed a character that's moving, but sort of gently pushing Riddick into the way he needed to go.
I want more story about them.
Yes.
Yeah, the elementals.
Because she's the only one you ever see, and that's the only movie that you see them in. That would be pretty cool.
Mhm.
To see, maybe. See, they haven't really labeled this universe aside from Riddick. I was about to say, like, maybe they could do not movies, but they could do offshoot like animes or something like that of the universe that Riddick inhabits.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even a book, like one of those, like a Riddick encyclopedia, like you have the Marvel and DC encyclopedias, where you learn a little bit more
there
about
are
the lore.
already books.
Ooh. But definitely Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh yeah.
Of the three, Chronicles is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely took the elements from Pitch Black that I liked, like the space adventure, mercenary, violent man, and just made that a movie. They just that portion and stretched it out and added some lore bits, and they baked it in the oven with love, and I loved it. I really did enjoy Chronicles of Riddick.
As did I. That was one of my favorites.
Mhm.
I was going to say stuff about the newest Riddick since the main character was actually, I'm sorry, the main actor was actually the one behind everything. But I realized that was just, him against Acid. The last one was him against cold and ghost-like being, army people
Hmm.
and heat. Oh god, they really did shove so much into Chronicles.
Yeah, it was a lot of world building shoved into Chronicles. It was piecemeal enough that you could draw your own conclusions, but it wasn't so overly detailed that the director's cut would have been like 3.5 hours, like
Right.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Lord of the Rings director's cut is amazing. You can spend an entire weekend watching it.
The Lord of the Rings movies are awful.
What?
They are terrible. It is 3 movies about people walking places.
Oh, you're just taking the Clerks 2 argument.
But it's true. It is 400% true.
There are so many things you can say about them that may be true, but that does not justify whether you like it or not.
All
You
right,
simply don't like it.
let's make that a topic. It's
No.
obviously something that we could probably talk about in depth. So let's make Lord of the Rings a topic.
No. You're recording that podcast by yourself.
Oh God, come on! You got so much to say.
Your hate, your loathing. Give us more.
So bad. I have fallen asleep in the movie theater
Oh my
every
God.
time I went to see one of those films.
Wow.
So boring.
I'm assuming you didn't have a choice with some of those times.
Yes.
Because otherwise you would have learned, okay, I'm falling asleep. Clearly I don't like these. Why am I here?
The in Two Towers, when Legolas surfboards down the stairs and kills the orcs, that was the coolest scene in all 3 movies. That's it.
All right, I'm going to steer it back. Let's talk about Dark Fury a little more. I really like the villain in that one.
She was a bitch.
Her name escapes me right now, but
Pull
her
it up.
collection of fierce warriors from across the universe, and how she poses them is a pretty cool but very disturbing idea.
And the
Oh,
fact
very
that they're all
good.
still alive.
Yes, that's what I mean by disturbing.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was so crazy. And when Riddick fought the freaking hentai tentacle neon light monsters,
Yeah.
yo, that was so cool.
Yes.
That's something you can really like only do in animation. It was so cool.
Oh, that would have
I felt
looked
this way about it.
would have looked horrible if it was live action.
I know you could do it live action, but it looks the way they did it in this version, in this medium, was amazing. It's not something you can usually see every day.
Yeah, they could do it in live action. Doesn't mean it would be good. It would just be hilariously bad.
I mean, you could probably do it now.
Now.
Not 2016.
I don't
Right.
think so.
Or not 2006 or 2007 when the movie came out. Like it just was there. Like Pitch Black did not age well when
No.
it came to the computer graphics, but that was the sign of the times. It was just sort of how it is. But man, it really looked like some Legos were flying right into the planet.
I had another part about Dark Fury. Just can't really.
About the art.
The art is amazing. I was going to mention, but I can mention now. I believe his name is Peter Chung. He's one of the originators on Aeon Flux, and he did one of the Animatrixes in that series of shorts for the Matrix. So that's why, Mike, you recognized it so well, because you found 2 franchises that he did before.
Yeah, the Animatrix and Aeon Flux were definitely things that I knew. Peter Chung is a Korean-American animator, best known for his unique style of animation, and as the creator and director of Aeon Flux and Reign the Conqueror.
Oh, I'm glad I got his name right.
Thanks, Wikipedia! So, guys, do you have anything to say to wrap up our discussion of the Chronicles of Riddick?
Do you think you'll ever get around to watching the game movies of
I
Butcher
actually,
Bay and
I actually have the Butcher Bay movie that somebody made saved in my watch later on YouTube right now. So it'll likely happen as my voice gets real cracky and high.
you think you might watch the sequel to Assault on the Dark Athena?
Probably.
You might
I'd
enjoy them.
I will play them eventually.
I'd like to learn more about the character now that I've watched the movies and felt more invested in the universe and the characters. I'm more likely to either purchase the games or watch this 2-hour video.
I think it only came out for 360. I'm not sure if it came out for other, maybe possibly PC. I can't
It was
remember.
made PC by Steam at least.
Yeah, I think it did come out for PC because the way that these game movies are made, it looks like a movie. It's kind of amazing because you can they're getting shots that you can't possibly get if you're just playing as the character Riddick.
I will say that I appreciate Kira in one aspect. She definitely did learn from Riddick in Chronicles when she brought up the cup.
That's a great scene.
Yeah.
That's like coolest death number 3.
Yes.
You're gonna kill me with your teacup, soup. No, your soup cup,
It's a teacup.
teacup. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
gonna kill me with your teacup, the soup cup. Damn it. Never mind.
He just
It's just a kick-ass scene
he just shoves it in his heart like
and twist it,
yeah.
and then he picks up. I think it's like the pick for like bedroom doors is what he picks up next to kill someone.
I loved Kira having the knives in her shoes
Yes.
and just like kicking people in the dick. So, the violence definitely like escalated and it was awesome.
So this is the second installment in the Riddick podcast talks. Thank you, Mike and Austin, for joining me. Again, you can find Austin at rnew1 on DeviantArt. You can find Mike at Pope Mike on Twitter and Popadopoulos on Instagram and twitch.tv/Popadopoulos on Twitch. You can find Jamsin Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube, and you can find Jamsin Podcast on all your podcast platforms. If you like what you saw, like it. If you think other people will like it, share it. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button or follow us on your podcasting platforms. Thank you for watching and listening, and live your imagination.